Good morning, my loves. I hope you're doing well. It's been quite a week as we're literally landing into what feels like the next phase of our ascension embodiment process, is the way that it's coming through. There's a lot of different topics that have sort of been swirling around in my vicinity, but I wanted to really open it up and see what was going to be the most beneficial for those of you here with me, because I've been sensing sort of a dance that some of you are doing very well, very um integrated, very stabilized, like really just working through things. And I can also sense that there's others of you really sort of navigating a new layer. And I guess the best energy that I can say is like sort of looking for your next steps. And I think if this helps any of you in any way, shape, or form, all of us are going through a form of that. And part of why this energy is coming up is because we are moving into energies that we have not experienced in this way before. And I am going to talk to you guys about that sovereignty energy and that sovereignty session I held space for last week. If you did not get to participate in that, it wasn't a live, but the recording is available under the live tab, but I'll also drop it in the pin comment for you. And this is the energy that I have been guided to establish and stabilize into for myself over these last few years. And for me, it's sort of the backbone of why I'm here with you, in the sense that in order to really build in the new energy, we need a healthy foundation, right? All of the energies we grew up in, even the energies we may have came into in our initial meeting with our counterpart, all of those were built on an energetic sort of faulty foundation. Now, underneath the faulty foundation is the true essence and the true energy of the connection, the true energy and potential of Earth and human potential. And so we've been in this process of sort of breaking up the faulty foundation so that we can get back to the truth from the earth perspective, but also as we sort of dissolve, unravel, or eliminate the things that aren't actually a part of unity consciousness and unconditional love, then what this does is as it starts to break up, it allows not only that true essence from the earth to rise up, but it also allows space for the higher essences and the higher ways of being in our higher self embodiment to come into fruition in the physical world. It gives it a place to land, okay? And whether we've been aware of it or not, at least how I'm shown through the energetics and the way that I work, is that we are building the new container in the healthy foundation. And like many of you have experienced probably within your own life, if you're here with me, you went through those tower moments. You went through the dark night of the soul. You probably had your entire world, your entire life, your entire foundation shaken to the ground. You probably started questioning everything you knew, everything you were. And through this process of allowing the things to shed that weren't actually aligned with you, you've emerged a more authentic, genuine version of yourself versus someone who had to survive and fit in and get in line with what was present here or what we grew up in. And this is a good thing. This is why we're here, right? And it's not to say that everything we grew up in or all of the systems or everything about the systems are bad or wrong, But if you really start to look within the structures that we grew up in, they're not really sound foundationally to hold unity consciousness or unconditional love or interdependent relationships. Those old structures really are set up in a very codependent manner. They're set up telling you to give your power and your energy to a middleman versus teaching us how to be sovereign and trust ourselves and be independent or interdependent. And so the old systems, if you really look at them, are set up in a codependent manner. Well, because that's the energetic grab, right? Whoever's at the top, keeping all that keeping you dependent on them for your connection to God, for your connection to your health, for your paycheck. Any of those situations are really moving you away from your true sovereignty, from your own direct connection to source. Now, I want to express to you that this doesn't mean that we don't live on this planet and have a job and get a paycheck and have a bank account or get health care if we need it, right? Roll with me because I'm going to express to you how I've learned how to unravel out of the old systems and structures without them being what contains or runs me, while at the same time participating in the things that actually support me as a human being. And it really came down to having my own sovereign container, my own direct connection to source, my own direct connection to earth in my own being, which is why I did that session on Tuesday. Because as you develop and strengthen and focus your own trust within yourself, within your higher power, within your own direct connection, without the need for a middleman to contain you, okay? And why I'm saying it this way is because the interdependent energy is where we actually still interact with one another. We learn from one another. We share information with one another. We can even hold space with one another. We can learn, we can do sessions, we can do groups. You know what I mean? We can listen to videos. I watch other people's videos. Like we're still always learning. We're not here alone, right? But the sovereignty and independence energy is where we're doing it, where someone else is not above you or containing your essence. You feel me? You're in charge of your own energetic container, right? And then say, let's say, like here on YouTube, I love YouTube. I use YouTube as one of my containers. Where some people might look at it and say, whoa, YouTube is huge. And Danielle has a channel on YouTube. So YouTube is a container and Danielle's within that container. And yes, to some degree, that is true. But when I'm in my sovereign energy and I'm looking at Danielle's life, how I align myself with the energy of YouTube is Danielle has her sovereign energy and essence, and YouTube is a container, an opportunity that Danielle uses, that I use to help me in my life, to help me to connect with others, to help me get these messages out as I'm guided. But instead of seeing it as something that YouTube runs Danielle, Danielle has an interdependent connection and relationship with YouTube. YouTube provides me the opportunity to come on here and have people around the world connect with me. And I simultaneously provide YouTube with content that people might want to watch. You feel me? So there's like an interdependent connection. And this, I'm explaining it to you about YouTube because this is a perfect example of a structure, right? Of a collective structure or um system that's in place that we can participate in. So you can apply this to the government, to the healthcare system, to the school system, whatever system you may partake in, the financial system, but you can reframe it instead of it being in control of you. You are a participant in the parts of those systems that work for you and your sovereign energy. Okay. So this isn't about getting rid of the things that work or that support us to build a thriving, prosperous existence here on this planet. It's about using the parts that work, letting go of participating in the parts that keep us away from what we want to build, right? But letting ourselves use the energy and essence to create the new foundations and the new energies so that the good parts of what we have on our planet, the truth of what we're wanting to build, and equality and unity, consciousness and interdependence, we can really use those energies to embody into that and build the new foundation, like I've been talking to you about, while still being present on this planet, while embodying into what we choose to participate in, but also releasing and unraveling and dissolving any judgment that we're holding around anyone else's choices. Okay. And as we take responsibility for our own sovereign essence, our own energetic sovereignty, as we call back our true essence home to us, as we restore our own energetic power and life force back to where it originally and always belonged, which was within you, in your own direct connection to the source of your creation, which is the highest source, and also this planet, our home, which without this planet, your physical body would not exist because your physical body is made up of the elements of this planet. Okay, my loves, this planet holds space for you to come into physical existence. And those two things are a very, very important stream for you to own your own lane, your own direct connection. Okay, my loves. And I know many of you are doing this, but this is why I always hit this home. This is why you hear me talking about this probably in almost every and any video you've ever seen from me, because you being in your own essence and your own truth and having that muscle built to trust yourself and your highest source, in your intuition and your guidance and your logic is going to be the most beneficial tool that you'll have, because that will support you in anything that you ever do. Your own trust of yourself, right? Your own sovereign alignment with who you are, right? Because then that's a foundation of unity consciousness. Once you know yourself and your truth, and you can embody into providing that for yourself, now you can start to hold that with others. You have no need to control what they're doing or judge what they're doing or tell them what they need to do, right? You get what I'm saying? It's like you are handling your business for yourself. And so it becomes a lot easier to hold that space with others. Versus in the old systems, a lot of what we're seeing right now is people upset and reacting from trauma responses and trauma triggers because they feel that someone else is actually in control of their sovereignty and their choices. And yes, there's a gray area where some of that is going on, but the more people drop into that feeling, the more out of control and unfree they're going to feel. And that sort of builds the trauma triggers. But when we can address and face our own triggers for ourselves, provide what we need to ourselves in the best way possible in any given moment, in the present moment. Okay. There's lots of future projections and potentials that exist in any given moment. And in each of those present moments, you have an opportunity to decide what you are going to focus your life force on. Do we ignore what's going on around us? Yes and no, to be quite honest. You can pay attention to it's there. Let it give you the information that you need. And if it triggers you into something that's uncomfortable, now you have an opportunity to dissolve that trigger and provide yourself with the stability and support that you're needing. Okay. And what this actually does and why it's so powerful is it will actually help to eliminate and start to dissolve that timeline where that thing that feels traumatic to you lives because you are resolving it within your own energetic system. Okay. I hope this makes sense. It's something that I have been doing for quite some time, and it has worked wonders for me and my life and my existence, and clearing and resolving my old trauma triggers. The things that used to trigger me in those ways are not anymore. And when triggers do come up, I look within first and foremost, okay? Obviously, unless you're in immediate danger, you handle your business and you care for yourself. But if it's simply something being triggered from something that could happen or a response from something that happened to you in the past or someone that you knew or loved, then those are an opportunity for you to dissolve and resolve those triggers. Okay. Again, by providing yourself with the support that you're needing, whether it's doing it on your own or calling someone that you love and trust, getting yourself support from a therapist or a counselor or a coach or an energy worker or whatever aligns, or all the above. Honestly, I've worked with all of those things. So there's no shame in getting yourself support in an interdependent manner. You're taking the responsibility to care for yourself, to resolve your triggers, and move into your own sovereignty and trusting yourself. And I'm telling you, it's powerful, my loves. And I know, again, many of you have worked with this, so let me know in the comments. Let me know how you're doing. And, it is 11:11, and it's always a powerful portal day, one of the most powerful, right? I remember back in the day when it was the main day of the year, we didn't even talk about the other portal days. But whoa, okay, that flipped out. So I'm gonna look at that. I just wanted to bring in some messages for this energy. And what flipped was the Chariot. There's other cards under it, but I don't even know if I'm gonna look at those yet. To me, this is speaking about very swift forward movement in a balanced and aligned way. The wheel is turning and things are shifting. And the way we have learned how to balance, ooh, this is bringing forth a message. I think it came in. I did a few Patreon videos last week, and it really feels like where the feminines have learned how to harmonize and balance, even in the light and the darkness, even within the instability, feeling the stability. And this is allowing the masculines to find a new level of stability within. Now, I'm saying it like this because of how it came through, but it's also, as always, very pertinent to your own internal energies. As you've learned how to stabilize within what feels like chaotic energy, it's not because you're agreeing to the chaotic energy, it means you're aligning into that pillar of the neutrality, which allows the true solutions of unity consciousness to stream through. And what I feel like is this is helping this energy in essence to be harnessed in the physical world for actual genuine foundational things to come through for solutions for what we've actually been asking for. Okay. Because many of the old constructs may talk about unity consciousness, but they're not actually available to hold unity consciousness. Like you can't say you want unity consciousness and equality, and then every other word out of your mouth is fight, fight, fight. Okay. Those two things are sort of not working together. Okay. You can see a lot of these energies, although they may be well meaning, they're actually energetically opposing and Hippocratic and no, not Hippocratic, hypocrisy, whatever. Maybe I said it the right way. I don't know. Multiple things are going on right now, so roll with me. You guys know how I get when these energies are this big. Ooh, thank you. So yes, it's like looking at the energies where we're feeling that they're not lining up or matching. And this is why this can happen when we resolve our trauma and triggers, because then we can start to drop into the true energetics of what we're actually fighting for, release the fight, and actually move to genuine solutions that can support all sides. Okay, my loves? Because what we see in the fighting is actually two opposing trauma triggers. And if we can address both sides' trauma triggers, actually, in most cases, you will find a solution that works for both parties. That's a much more tempered energy that's sort of down the middle, but it still can satisfy the core values of what people are fighting about. Because again, I truly and genuinely believe with all of my heart that a majority of most people genuinely are wanting the same things. They're just coming at it from different views, sort of like the masculine and feminine collective. Okay. All right, my loves. And how I feel with this is this Page of Pentacles rising up in that heart space in sort of this balanced energy. It feels to me coming from the heaven and the earth and balancing in the middle of the heart space and truly coming together in unity consciousness, reaching across to one another to say, hey, what happened? What made you feel this way? What are you really needing and wanting? And then that happening on the other side is the crazy or not crazy part is that when we look at the world, like I've said, we're all holding pieces of the solutions if we can drop enough into our heart to listen to one another and to hold one another instead of fighting one another. And any of you here with me on this divine counterpart journey know that this is the whole thing that it's been training you for, to release it and to actually see and witness and understand that you might have a different perspective, a completely opposite perspective of the other person. But when you start to get into the depths of the energetics of it, you realize that you're wanting the same things. You're just going about it from a different perspective. Okay. And this is how this all interweaves together to train us to really start to see the solutions, because not any one person holds all of the solutions. We all hold pieces, because if we were meant to do it alone, we would be here alone. Now we're meant to get into our sovereignty so that we can actually know ourselves and bring forth our truth to the table with our brothers and sisters. It's our responsibility to be our part of the solution. And you can be your part when you can show up in that essence as much as possible. We're still learning, we're still embodying, but you get me, you feel me. Unity consciousness starts within. When you hold that union, inner union, unity consciousness for yourself, you can then hold that and wield that for and with the collective. I appreciate you. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate your focus on your internal union, unconditional love, and unity consciousness. You are, in fact, a part of the new foundation. All right, my loves, you're powerful and you are positioned within this place at this time for very beautiful reasons. And thank you for hearing the call and for following it. All right. I love you. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And again, I will drop that meditation session, energetic session of sovereignty in the pinned comment. I will also drop my schedule in the comment, and I will also drop my Patreon group in the pinned comment. I hope again you have a beautiful rest of your 11/11, and I will see you very soon. Much love.